In this lesson video, we will again discuss conditional formatting. The difference with the previous one, in this lesson, we will focus on the conditional formattings that use graphics. They are data bars and icon sets. Let's first discuss the data bars type. We've discussed charts before and also sparklines. The data bars feature is somewhat similar to those of the previous features. The difference is that the data bar samples all the data in the cell range, but it only displays a bar in each cell whose length matches the value in that cell. To understand this clearer, let's just see an example of it. For now, let's select column G, which is the column that contains the margin data. Then open the conditional formatting menu and select the submenu data bars. We can see that Excel divides the data bars into two categories, gradient and solid. In essence, the functions are the same. What is different is only in appearance. Gradient will use a gradient color on its bar, and solid will use a flat color. For now, let's just choose this pink gradient type, and this is the result. We can see the greater the value, the longer the bar will be. The largest value will have the bar filling in its entire cell, while the cell with the smallest value will have no bar at all. Let's take a look at the various parameters associated with these data bars. Reopen the conditional formatting menu, then open the Rules Manager window. Make sure all rules are visible. Then we edit this rule. The first option is Show Bar Only. If this checkbox is active, and we click OK, then Apply, we can see now all number data in the cell range is hidden. We can only look at the data bars. Next, we re-edit the rules. For this minimum and maximum values, the default is set to automatic. Generally, you don't need to change this automatic setting. But if you want to define custom values for the minimum and maximum threshold, for example, from 10 to 200, then you can select the number option, then type 10. For the maximum is the same, we choose number, then enter the number 200, click OK, and apply. As we can see, because the data range is narrower, now more cells have longer bars. Next, let's discuss the other parameters. In the bar appearance, we can adjust the visual appearance. This is for the fill color, and this is for the border. Let's try to set this to solid, and choose a green color. Then change this option to no border. This will make the bars to have no border. Then, with this option, you can reverse the direction or the alignment. For example, if we set this to be right to left, then later the bar will appear from right to left. While the left to right option is to set the direction from left to right, as we see now. For now, we choose the default, which is context. What this context option means is that the direction of the bar will automatically be adjusted to the text formatting of the cell. So, if for example, these cells use text alignment right to left, then automatically the bar will also use the right to left direction. The last one is this button. For this one, we can only see the effect if in a cell range we have negative values. To try it, we can just click this button. In this window, we can specify a fill color for the negative bars. I think this red color choice is already suitable for negative values, so we don't need to change it. Then this is for the border color on the bar whose value is negative. For now, this parameter is disabled because the border setting outside is turned off. Then these are the directional settings. The automatic option will place the zero midpoints according to the ratio of the smallest and largest values in the cell range. The cell midpoint option will place the midpoint 0 exactly in the middle of the cell width. This none option will cause the bars with negative values to have the same direction as those with positive values. The difference will only be the color. For now, let's select this cell midpoint option. Lastly is the axis color. This parameter is used to determine the line color of the zero midpoints. You can change it if you want. Click OK. And before we click OK again, Pay attention to this minimum value setting. We still have the minimum set at 10. If we use this value, Excel will not be able to process negative values. So, for now, we are returning this minimum value to the default setting, which is automatic, and also the maximum value. Once you are done, you can click OK. Then click OK again. We can see now that the bars are in solid green, not gradient, and also have no borders. Now, to see the negative version of the data bar, of course, we need negative values, because the value in this margin is the result of a formula that reduces the selling price by the purchasing price. If we reduce or zero out the selling price, or we increase the purchase price above the selling price, we can get negative values in margin column. We can see the negative data bar in red erected from this midpoint to the left. So that is how you use data bars for conditional formatting. Next, we will cover icon sets. I have closed and reopened this file for a fresh start. For now, select column H, which contains data of how many units are sold for 1 year. Then open the conditional formatting menu and select the submenu icon sets. We can see that Excel provides a few presets here. The most important thing we need to discuss now is the number of icons that exist in the icon set. If you choose an icon set that has 3 icons, either this one or this for example, then all the data in the cell selection will be chopped into 3 groups. The low values group will be given this icon, the third one. The middle values group will be given this middle icon, and the high values group will be given this first icon. So that is what icon set is all about. If we select an icon set that contains 4 icons, then the data will be chopped into 4 groups. If we choose the one with 5 icons, the data range will be divided into 5 groups. Until this point, I am sure inshallah you have understood the basic concept. For now, let's pick the star icon set. And this is the result. If we want to see the value distribution more clearly, we can try sorting the data using the filter feature. Then, in the sort column, we sort it from A to Z. We can see that the small values have empty star icons, middle values have half-filled star icons, and high values will have fully filled star icons. Next, let's take a detailed look at the parameters of the icon sets feature. For this, we can open the Rules Manager window again. Let's see all the rules in the worksheet, and select and edit this rule. The Reverse Icon Order button is used to reverse the icon order. Now those with low values use the full stars instead, and the large values will use the empty star icons. Click here again to reverse the order. The Show Icon Only checkbox will hide the data numbers, so only the icons will appear. This drop-down list contains the presets we saw earlier in the menu. And next, here are the main parameters of the icon sets feature. In this drop-down list, you can select the icon you want to use. For now, at least in the current version that I'm using, we cannot use a custom graphic as the icon. Perhaps this will change in the future. Then, in these 2 fields, you can define 2 threshold values. Why do we need 2 threshold values? This is because we currently have 3 icons. If, for example, we use an icon set containing 5 icons, we will have to define 4 threshold values. To make it easier, for now, we only use 3 icons. The concept is the same, regardless of the number of icons. Currently, these numbers use the percentage values from the data range. If you wish to use a fixed value, you can select the number option here. For now, I stick to the percent type so it will be more flexible against future data changes. Simply put, the way these threshold values work is like this. If the data value in the cell is below this first threshold value, then this icon will be used. If the data in the cell is between these 2 threshold values, then the second icon will be used. And if the data value is above this second threshold value, then this icon will be displayed. So that is how you can use the icon sets feature. Feel free to experiment on your own with the parameters provided here and see how it turns out on the worksheet.